Have you been quoted $6,000 or more for a vinyl liner in-ground pool? You can replace it yourself and save thousands. A pool liner replacement is something you can do yourself with the help of a few volunteers or friends. First, of course, you would drain out all the water and remove anything that was attached to the pool, such as returns, skimmers, things like that. In a few minutes, I'll tell you how much money I saved by changing out this pool liner myself. It is estimated that pool liners last about 10 years before failure. This one was 11 years, and then it started to become brittle and cracked, and we had a huge tear on one side. After the water was drained, we jumped inside and start slicing up the pool liner in manageable sections. It's easy to cut with any utility blade or utility knife. My pool had a deep side drain, so it was easy to pump out about 98% of the water. There was a few inches remaining in the deep side, so we just used a shop vac to remove that, or you could use a sump pump. The last attachment point to remove was the deep side drains. This pool has 2 of them. Using the shop vac came in clutch, so we could suck out that green nasty algae water that's been sitting all winter season. Okay, are you ready to remove about 100 screws? This is the shallow end steps, and these retainer clips had many screws that all had to be removed to remove the old liner. Replacing an in-ground swimming pool liner is a serious project. You will need help and volunteers. Do not attempt this all with just one person. The old scraps can be rolled up or folded up to make them manageable to dispose of. I'm told a standard swim pool liner thickness was 20 mils. This one was 27 mils, so it's extra thick, cost a little more money. I'll tell you in a minute how much we paid for this. The box that the new swim pool liner came in was shipped by freight, tied to a skid. It was very heavy. 2 grown men were able to lift it. 3 was more reasonable. We sat the heavy liner box at the side of the pool deck and then jumped inside and brought it all the way down to the shallow end. At this point, I do want to give you some caution. Now that you're dealing with your new swim pool liner, have nothing sharp on the inside. No utility knives in your pocket, no sharp shoes or boots. Everything needs to prevent tearing or cutting of the new liner. Now look carefully on the box. The manufacturers will label your new liner which direction to go. This one was labeled to lay the box in the shallow end and then unfold it towards the deep end. They'll also show you with the arrows which way to unfold it. This pool is vermiculite bottom. There's also a sand bottom option. So if you have sand, you don't want to leave footprints in it, you might have to repair and reform. If you have a vermiculite bottom like this pool, you simply sweep it clean. If you did have some cracks or damage, you would patch it now, but this one was in good shape and we were just able to sweep it clean. Pete, my helper here, removed the last screws of the deep end drains because he was a little concerned that we would get dirt and debris in those screw holes and they would get plugged up. So we did this at the very end before the new liner went over the top. Here we're building our bridge on the shallow end steps. This will be a custom modification depending on what type of pool, what shape of pool you have. If you have shallow steps where the liner does not go over the steps, you wanted some type of bracing here so you can attach the liner like a sacrificial wall, something to attach it to, and then you're filling it with water and it will stretch into its final position. Here with 2 guys in the shallow end, we unfurled the new liner and then we had 2 more people on the deck side up top, so that was 4 people in total to unfold the new liner and stretch it out to the proper position. Liner beads are pretty standard. They usually just have one clip facing down, which will clip over the metal coping or under the metal coping. There are some specialty fastener systems I've seen, but this one seems to be the most common. To snap your new liner in, it's actually easier than you think. You're gonna hold that flange horizontal and then you slide it in the gap and then just release. It will drop into position. Sometimes you'll kind of hear an audio click, but sometimes you won't. As long as you don't see any of the exposed flange color hanging too low, you know you did a good job and it's in the right position. Now, as you go around and adjust your fit, you don't want to snap everything in super tight and kind of permanently yet because you're going to have some adjustment to do. The manufacturer will give you a few stickers on your liner to mark like where the shallow end breaks and starts to the deep end, and you want to line those up so you know your new liner is kind of symmetrical. If you're crooked on your new liner, the corners won't line up right. Check your corners. That will also give you a great help as to lining up your new liner. The last thing you want to do is add water with a crooked liner. And we simply worked our way all the way around the pool, snapping it in, making sure we like the fit and finish. Now, don't put water in yet. You want to remove those wrinkles and you're going to use suction to accomplish that. You're going to use a pool liner vac to suck out the air to create a negative vacuum. Now, at first we attempted to do it with a shop vac because I wasn't able to source the proper pool vac on short notice. However, the shop vac did not remove enough air, and we weren't satisfied with the progress in getting the wrinkles out. So later in the day, I was able to secure a proper pool liner vac, suck out all the air. You simply slide it in behind the liner. So between the pool structural wall and the liner, you slide it behind the liner, tape it off to create a suction. And when you run that fan for a few minutes, you'll see the liner suck right up against the wall down tight, and then you can be confident that you like the placement, that most of the wrinkles are out. At least it should be a pretty good appearance before you start adding water. Take your time at this step, stretching it out, making sure you like the fit and finish. Okay, adding water and filling up water. In the past, we've actually paid for a professional delivery. It was literally a tanker truck. And then you'll fill your pool up instantly. Well, one tanker truck was half. This is a 21,600 gallon pool. Your schematic will tell you how many gallons you have, or there are online calculators, but it was quite expensive. In this case, we actually are just filling it with a garden hose, which will take quite some time. You can do the gallons per minute test to figure that out. And then here we're cutting in the shallow end steps. This is where you want to go slow and be careful. Make sure you find those screw holes, and then puncture the new liner only when you're convinced you found the new screw holes. There's a left and there's a right and there's a lower bracket around the shallow end steps. When we took off the old brackets, we did mark them behind with a Sharpie, left top, right top, and bottom piece, so we knew which way they went back in. After your brackets and retainer clips are in place, you take a utility knife and cut out the liner in those areas. You could leave a 1/4 inch of the liner on the inside cut if you want. It's up to you, but cutting right next to the flange is fine as well. This pool has 2 deep side drains, 3 return jets, and a floating skimmer, and the shallow end steps. So all those areas had to be cut in and screwed with the flanges. Okay, how much did the swimming pool liner cost? Now, I was quoted by the professional pool company $6,000 to $7,000 if they ordered the whole thing, and I didn't even have to get my hands dirty. I did this myself for about $2,100 delivered, shipping included. Now, this was a thicker liner, 20 mil, and more standard. This is like 27 mil, so it's thicker. I saw liners as cheap as about $1,250, $1,250 USD delivered. So you can save yourself thousands of dollars. Hey, you did it, and just like that, you installed your vinyl liner replacement in your in-ground swimming pool and you saved thousands. Let me know in the video description down below if you have any questions at all.